Hey nerds, Sage is here. So I'm actually redoing this because of a little bit of a issue that was in the previous video where we talked about this. But we're going to go over the new banner, and I'm just going to tell you guys real quick as a reminder that your Choose Your Legends character, of course, is, you kind of have one day to keep trying for it, at least as a focus. Those units will, of course, probably all be 5 stars and moved into their own little sectors on, the summoning board. But if you haven't already, go ahead and do it. You have one day from now, right now. And of course, we have a new banner to go on, and we're going to go through that real quick because, well, I figure we'll do this real quick again, one last time. I'm going to fix something that I had a bit of an error with, and then we'll move on from there, okay? Alrighty, so let's go. First up, let's just start up the trailer. As you can see, new banner is all about Path of Radiance. So that's pretty cool. And of course, for some reason, this one has 3, but there's Nephenee.
Really much with fancy
And
talk. I'm just trying to speak like.
anyways, let's just talk about this, shall we? So, as a character, Slaying Lance Plus, we kind of saw that coming because, well, she wielded something that kind of looked like a slaying weapon in the quick hero battle thing that they had going on. So yeah, there you guys go. Fun stuff. Nothing too crazy there, but yeah, Slaying Lance Plus, Accelerate special cooldown trigger. Moonbow works off that even better. Does pretty good at what it does do. Especially with Slaying Lance. Granted, it depends on what the rest of her stats are. Attack and speed +2. Nothing too crazy, but the real meat here is Wrath, and that's a lot. If unit's HP is less than or equal to 75%, special cooldown count -1 at start of turn if special triggers by attacking. And then, of course, if special triggers, +10 damage from special. So, I mean, the closest example I can give to this is a special effect that is on the Wu Dao, and it's, it's plus version, and the Dark Excalibur, which I believe is something that Sonya wields. And basically, when that triggers, additional damage. But that's this in, B form. It's Wrath, but, I mean, that's pretty cool. It has some stipulations, of course, but it's competing for a B slot, which means that it can have a lot of interesting little tidbits that can work in there. I mean, I'm wondering how well this will stack if you, could it stack with the Wu Dao if you were to give it to someone else? Interesting skills here. Very fun one. Definitely one of the much more interesting units out there. Granted, yeah, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Anyways, Wrath, pretty fun stuff. Yep, let's just go with that. But, Slaying Lance as well. This might be pretty interesting as a character, and I know a lot of people were debating if Nephenee was gonna... I thought she was going to be a Tempest Trial character, but I guess not. Instead, we got, possibly something else. So, Oscar.
Rely on me.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm extremely disappointed with you, Oscar. Sapphire Lance Plus is not something I really wanted to see on you, buddy, but, I mean, Rally Defense and Speed, okay. Lance Breaker 3, no longer do you have to worry about farming Narcian, I guess, if you really want to. I'm hoping that will be available maybe a little bit easier. Maybe Oscar will probably be bumped down to 4 stars once this banner's over, but unless he has exponential stats, I'm not really so certain about this. Spur speed and defense is cool, but the question is, are you going to be using him over a different blue lance unit, especially one that's on horseback? And, even then, you could potentially give, that other unit, something better. Just saying, if you're really going to try it, there's other Lance units, and I'm really worried about him as a unit. It's just unfortunate. I kind of went over that in the last video, but we'll talk about it as a roundup at the end. So anyways. Alrighty, so, yeah. Granted, he does have some speed, but that doesn't matter much because these aren't fully leveled characters, guys. Anyways, Lost Princess. Now, this is where her art just gets to me. Like, I don't know why, but it just doesn't look anything like her in the actual, I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. I don't know what happened with that art there, but still, nonetheless. Ooh, that wasn't the best. Not the greatest interpretation. I still like it. It looks nice, but, and then, you know, we just hear her voice and...
I believe in you, no matter what may come.
Oh, boy. Anyways, alright, moving on from that, we of course have the Amity, I believe it is, and a lot of people got really upset about me saying, oh man, what if it was what if it wasn't a legendary but a new type of brave weapon? But now that's pretty much her weapon from Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. My mistake there, guys. So, but yeah, I mean, speed -2 and then attack twice when initiating. That's a pretty obvious, overpowered new brave weapon because essentially we needed that, and that just melts my brain in several ways. Seriously, that's terrifying. And something that's just weird, but honestly, makes sense. Pretty cool to see, and makes her indefinitely strong. Just considering right now, when you look at the brave meta, because... yeah, there's a whole meta around it. Brave weapons are a thing that a lot of people use, especially, of course, Brave Bow. But this one is that with slightly less repercussions and a bit more might to back it up. So add the fact that, of course, she is a flying unit, from what I can tell. So yeah, Death Blow, and of course, you know, you can tell, maybe, basically by the whole flyer formation thing down there. We'll talk about that in a second. Ardent Sacrifice, Death Blow, both pretty nice options. Death Blow especially is pretty cool. You can always, I mean, since she's going to be dealing a lot of damage when initiating, hopefully, Death Blow will definitely add up a lot more. And of course, the new ability, her new B skill, yes, B skill, Flyer Formation 3, that is something I am kind of interested in. This basically will allow her to move to an adjacent, can move to a space adjacent to a flyer ally within 2 spaces. That is great for keeping things like goads going, and of course, you know, fortifies, hones, if you're really using those at all. That's pretty nice for a B ability. Leaves the C slot open, of course, for your flyer buffs and whatever else you want to use on your character here. All in all, that is an extremely powerful and potent build, and I do apologize for my mistake there, guys. Not meaning to do that. Probably went off on a tangent there, was not thinking. Anyways, moving on, let's just talk about the next thing. So, I mean, look at that. She's doing a quad hit there. I guess you didn't even see that, but maybe you did. Granted, yeah, not fully leveled. Anyways, Diabolical Bloodline, and hey, look, the Black Knight's here. Exciting stuff. Woo. So I'm pretty sure I don't really want to talk about that too much because I know some people are already probably going to put it in the comments, but yeah, as you can see, Black Knight's already featured here. Is he going to be the Tempest Trial character? I'm starting to edge it towards yes, he will be, and that's going to be interesting because the last 2 units have been hot garbage. I'm not talking about masked Marth, but mostly, you know, Lucina, you know, not Lucina, the clone Lucina, but mostly Clive and, of course, Tobin. Those 2 have been, I mean, they have their own little niche spots that they can do really well in, but I will safely say, if he is the Grand Hero, not Grand Hero, Tempest Trial Banner, or Grand Hero Banner, Battle, God, talking is hard, then... yeah, that'll be pretty interesting. I'm hoping Tempest Trial, because we do need a character that will be powerful, and hopefully he can bring that, but we'll see about that one. Anyways, as you can see here, let's just go through the most, let's just go from worst to best. Oscar is probably the worst of this, outside of Lancebreaker and maybe some other skills you can, you know, steal from him. Unless he has the stats to really pack it up, I don't I mean, back it up. He can really just pack it up. But anyways, moving on from here, let's just go into that. And then, of course, we have Nephenee as well. And she's probably the second best. I think Wrath might be a very interesting ability to use and something that people will be really fascinated by. So, yeah. Anyways, and then finally, we, of course, have Elincia. And she's probably going to be the best. I mean, a legendary brave weapon is not something people usually, look away from. Hefty damage from it. 11 might on that weapon. And, of course, the flyer formation, which will be really, really vital to at least moving her around and also maybe positioning flyers for special abilities and buffs. So that's all pretty substantial. I think she's probably going to be the best character there. Sad to say, Oscar, you are a steaming pile of poop. So, yep, there you go. Sorry about the, having to redo this, but I figured it would be better and less of my mental retardation that happened there. So anyways, catch you guys later. See you soon.